What's going on, guys? It's Anthony. It's Garage Talk time. Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time checking us out, think about hitting that subscribe button down below. We do appreciate all of that. Today, there's something I've wanted to do for a long time, and I just never did it, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. As you can see, I'm here in my garage. You know what I like more than my Camaro? And I like more than my V-Rod, my Sportster, that stack of tires, even that stroller in that corner. I can't say it's books because I don't have books in here. It's these Hot Wheels right here and this little toy model. Because when the cameras aren't rolling, I sit in here and play with all these toys. And I aspire to one day rip open all those boxes and play on this floor with all those toys. Just mess with you guys. So thank you for tuning in. I've always just wanted to do that. That's my shitty rendition of the Ty Lopez deal. We have been doing all kinds of things here on the Wrenched Out Garage and everywhere else. As you can see right now, we've got the dog kennel in here. The dog still comes in here on occasion. And then a couple of bins. We're still working through that, getting stuff cleaned up. I still am kind of lacking on getting stuff over there, but I have some stuff set up for, I've got to shoot a couple of Wrenched Out experiment videos, but that's not the point of today's. One of the things I want to talk about is this guy right here. So let me show you this real quick. Alright guys, so what that is a painting I picked up. I picked this guy up in Las Vegas when we were down visiting a few years ago, and what an awesome trip. I got to put together just a video talking about my experience with that. I am hopefully going to be making it to SEMA. We'll see about that. Anyways, this piece of art right here is from Counts Kustoms in Las Vegas. If you guys watch the show, then you know who Ryan is. Coolest thing was I showed up there at Counts Kustoms and looked around, got to see the shop and got to see the cars, and that alone was just worth going over there and seeing all of that stuff. But they have some art on the wall that the artist, and I didn't know this until I was looking at this piece, and it was a couple $100, and I was sitting there talking to them, and they were like, you know, whatever. So I chose that one. That was the biggest piece of art they had. It was also unique because it was on a couple of things that was unique about it is, A, it's all the pinstriping. I love it. Also, the background paint. It was the biggest piece they had, and it wasn't on a square rectangle like all the other pieces, so it naturally drew me to it. But the art alone, I was just like, damn, that is just incredible. So, anyways, we bought the piece, and while we were there, they were like, hey, you know, if you want to meet the painters, normally if you buy a piece of their art, they'll come out and meet you. So I said, yeah, hell yeah, I want to meet this guy. You know, that's Ryan. Dude kills it with paint on Counts Kustoms. You know, I don't know him personally, but his work is incredible. So we waited around for a little bit. While we were waiting, now I'm not going to pull it out, but while we were waiting, there's probably 10 autographs on the back of that, which was really cool because the lady that was there, the receptionist, kept going and getting people, and I met like the whole staff that you don't see on the show. And then I actually met, I can't remember, there was a guy that was only on the show for a very brief amount of time. I met him. He looked kind of like Danny the Count Coker. Danny wasn't there, but I will tell you, what a fantastic experience. The people there were just incredible. Seeing some of the cars in person was badass. Some of the bikes in person, seeing the shop. I can't say enough. And then of course I stood there and bullshitted with Ryan for, like I said, probably 20 minutes, 30 minutes. He was telling me how he came over from California. I was telling him I was from Alaska. And of course, anytime I mention Alaska to people, it's just like, you're from Alaska, you know. And anyways, we had a great conversation. Dude's super cool. I doubt he'll ever see this video, but if he does, thank you so much for the badass art, Ryan. I appreciate it. Anyways, he obviously autographed the front, which is appropriate because it's his art. One of these times I'll slide it out of this little contraption I made right here. I'll slide it out and then I'll show you guys the other ones. Anyways, Counts Kustoms, I don't know if you guys watch it or like it or whatever. I like the show. I think it's pretty cool. They do some pretty cool cars. Not super huge on some of the 70s stuff they do, but as far as when they do muscle cars and trucks and so forth, I mean, these guys, beautiful. Some of the bikes they do, I think, is just incredible. Their shop in their area is pretty cool as well. Outside of that, let's what else can we show you? I was talking about some of the Hot Wheels and stuff. I'm not going to pull them out of the boxes if you were concerned, and I'm not pulling out my collection up there. So those I've got quite a few, and it's an assortment from your Datsuns, Lamborghinis, Porsches. That's like the some of the dream machines for the newer Ford GT. And then of course I've got some of the 50th anniversary editions. We've got more over here. Camaros, a lot of Camaros. Some of the Hotchkiss Camaros. Some of the 50s, ZL1s, actually quite a few of the 50s. And then of course the Hot Wheels edition, Hot Wheels. I've been collecting little die casts and stuff for a long time. Here I'll show you a couple. When I was young, like very young, I think it was like 16, 17, I got my first job. I was collecting, it was back, and I still like these cars. See if I can show it. I got safety glasses. The 64 Impalas, that thing's, like I said, probably 15 years old. I've got two of them, a black and a white, when I picked it up from a gas station. Here's one that I got with hydraulics on it, all the way up here. And then of course I've got, you know, a truck, a Vette, a Ferrari, a Viper. I do have these guys. I thought these were always cool. It's kind of dusty and dirty. Cisco, which was from West Coast Choppers, which was Jesse James, one of his dogs. I've actually got two of those, two different dog ones. And then of course, again, it gets dusty. V-Rod, I got a Sportster, an Aventador, and then a classic truck. I've got more over there. Those are all Camaros. You know, from the police Camaro to a different colored 5th gen, 6th gen, so forth and so on. Then I've got some classics over there too. Gotta collect, you know, if you're a car guy, motorcycle guy, you gotta at least have a couple of these. This, of course, I took out of the box. This was the 2016, obviously a 6th gen. Again, this is the, you know, I like these little guys. Not so much to play with them. I like looking at them. I find that the beauty of the car is definitely one of the big appeals for me. And you know, being an automotive fan since I was a kid, watching Power Block on Saturday mornings. You know, Stacy David, I don't know if you guys know, but check out Stacy David. That guy used to do a show called Gears. He did a bunch of other shows, a truck show, man. He was one of the guys on TV. I remember watching episode after episode on that Power Block Spike TV, and the show that was whatever that was before Spike TV used to play it in the mornings, and I used to love it, watch it for hours, especially when my kids were really young. You know, just watch and watch. And then I had all kinds of different cars. I had a 84 Mazda RX-7. I had a, for a little while, I had I think it was like an 88 Daytona Shelby Z. Nothing badass like a 71 freaking, or 69 or whatever. I didn't have anything super badass. I had what I could afford, but I absolutely love the cars. I still love cars today, probably even more so. I love motorcycles. Huge respect to all the guys that are building these, and really the YouTubers that are showing some of the stuff that they're doing with their cars and with their motorcycles. It's a privilege to be able to make videos and talk about the stuff that I love, which is cars, which is motorcycles, which is, you know, the garage. And, you know I say that often, but I really do. I'm very passionate about cars and motorcycles, you know, in the sense that, you know, when you look at the V-Rod, and I'll go into that in its own video, when you look at the 6th gen Camaro, and more than just look at it, because, you know, when I saw it, I was like, holy shit, this is a car, right? The lines on it, the way that they went from the 5th to the 6th gen, because to tell you the truth, you know, the 5th gen I wasn't a super fan of. You know, it was right when Mustang was doing their retro-esque styling. I thought that, you know, I'm not saying all of them, because there's some badass 5th gens. I'm not knocking it. It just wasn't my flavor. But the 6th gen was like, wow. So obviously I got one. The V-Rod was the same thing. Sportster bike, that's going to be my little bar hopper, my little quick run around. I got a lot to talk about it, you know, once that guy's out of the bag there and we start working on that. And then of course I do have some new parts on order for this. You'll be getting an install on that. We've got something for the back window and some other things coming in for that. I've got some parts that I'm working on getting ordered for this. It's just getting parts in Alaska sucks. So for you guys that are selling parts, I don't give a shit about anywhere else, but you need to hook a brother up when it comes to shipping in Alaska, because it's freaking crazy. There's a few places that I want to order parts from, but not when the shipping costs more than the freaking part. You got to give us a break here. You know, I get it. Like, cut the price down on the freaking part or something. You know, I get the whole, well, whatever. I won't even get into that. Anyways, guys, that was my quick rant and rave. Check out Ryan and those guys at Counts Kustoms. It's worth your time. Hot Wheels available everywhere. I'll put some links to some of the Hot Wheels I have. I'll try to find some of the 6th gen Camaro, like that guy, the yellow one. It's way overexposed. I'll put some links to some of this stuff down below if you guys want to check any of that stuff out. And we'll call that a garage talk. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, make sure, hey, check us out on Instagram at Wrenched Out Garage. Of course, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, we do appreciate if you take a moment, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you guys either out on the road or in the next video. Bow!